Hey fashion lovers, welcome back to my channel. Okay, and today we'll be cutting this halter neck, all right, gown. Okay, now this particular gown is actually trending on Instagram and the rest of them, and the gown is actually beautiful. So these are the calculation. As usual, we know what we do. We bring out the calculation first before we proceed with the calculation. You avoid mistake. When you do calculation, you avoid mistakes. Okay, makes it easier and you equally manage fabrics. So my shoulder, bust, waist, half length and gown length. Okay, the shoulder is 16 divided by 2. Okay, my bust 36 divided by 4. Now to give the firmness on this gown, I'm using princess darts. Okay, our normal princess darts. So you can pause the measurement to understand. All right, so let's proceed. Okay, so this is my pattern paper. All right, for the cutting, first the upper part is what we are cutting. Okay, now the first thing you do is fold your pattern paper or your fabric using the highest measurement on your calculation. You don't just fold, rather you use a measurement to fold. Now my highest measurement according to the calculation is about 13. Okay, so I folded it. Now, having 12, I can fold 13, I can fold 14. I can equally fold 15. It makes it more easy. Okay, so the fabrics to be wasted will be limited, and you can equally have other things, other fabrics. You can equally use the remaining for other things rather. Okay, so I've folded using my highest measurements. That is what I've done here. Okay, once I've done that, the next thing is to start marking them out from the unopened side. Okay, this paper, the unopened side is where the tape is anyway. So from the unopened side, I'm taking my measurement. My shoulder first, I have shoulder 8. Okay, yes, you say halter neck, why there's no shoulder? Yes, you need shoulder. The shoulder is a guide, to give you a perfect result. Then my armhole depth, I'm working with 7.5. Okay, for my armhole depth is by choice and equally by style and choice is what determines your armhole depth. And body size, body size, style of the dress, and choice. So I've marked my armhole depth and equally my half length. This is a gown and it stopped at the half length. Okay, so I've marked my shoulder, bust, half length. That is my waist. All right, now I'll connect my shoulder to the bust, straight line. Okay, that straight line is very necessary for curving of armhole. Yes, it is very necessary. It's a guide, so you don't cut the armhole too deep or too big. So I've done that. So the next thing right now is to measure my waist. Okay, according to the calculation, my waist measurement, that is 13. I'm marking it there. All right, so my bust equally, I will mark that. Okay, I will equally mark my bust. My bust is the highest. Sorry, my bust is 13. So after marking, I'll connect. Okay, now having connected it, the next thing I need to mark is my nipple to nipple. Then after that, I'll mark my bust point. First, let me give it a curve. Give the armhole a curve. Okay, so that is it. Now you can use your French curve to go for this curve if you decide to. Okay, now I need to determine my bust point. There's no princess dart without bust point. Have that in mind. So I've marked my bust point, which happens to be 10. Okay, That's my bust point marked. Good. Then at that bust point, I'll mark out my nipple to nipple. Nipple to nipple, that is the distance from one nip bust to the other. Then you connect. You connect it. Then you take half inches. You take half inches from the waistline, from the line, half on the other side, half on the other side. Okay. Then you connect it. Connect. Once you've connected it, you get your French cuff. Once you get your French cuff, then you connect the dart. What you just did now is waist dart. Now you need a shoulder dart to connect it, so it will give you a princess dart. All right. So, but that's my French cuffs. Now you place it. You place it and cut. That's it. Yes. Okay, good. That is it. You place it and cut. Now that's my princess dart. All right. Now these darts have different effects. Like princess dart gives more firmness. Okay. That is why I chose it. You can use normal waist dart if you decide to. Now I'm going for my neck width. I'm going for 3.5 by 3.5. All right. For my neck width and neck depth, 3.5 is what I'm going for. Now you can go for 4. Have that in mind. You can go for 4. You can go for, but 5 will make it more deeper, okay, in depth and more wider. So if you watch the dress is close to the neck, okay, so it's preferable you work with what is close. All right. So the neck has been drawn. All right. What next? Remember I did 3 by 3. Then the next thing for me now is to determine where I will connect it from. Now, alter neck differs. It differs. Some come close, some are wider, some are by the side. All right. Now I'm going for this one first. What I did was measure from the shoulder, okay, down about 1.5, then connect. Okay, this is one of them. Now remember the style in question have and they added a band to it by the armhole, okay, towards the neck. So definitely we will go down more. But if you're not adding anything to it, you can decide to leave it this way. All right, it's by choice, or you can decide to use tape. Okay, now I'm using tape to go by 2 inches. Yes, from the center front, okay, you measure. You can go deeper. Just have that in mind. You can go deeper whichever way you decide. You can go deeper, then you connect. That is it. Okay, now you have connected it. Once you have connected it, determine the way it is now. You already know what we did. You can decide to take the deeper one. You can decide to take that first one. It's your choice. All right, no other person. It is your choice. Whatever you want, it is your choice. So I'll be going with the second one, okay, so that by the time I add band to it, it will increase. And secondly, the inches, what you're adding, know the inches, okay, so it shouldn't be too big. According to what we have, they have, I think that addition was should be 1.5. Okay, so have it in mind. All right. So let me pin everywhere before cutting. I'll not want after cutting it will shift, so let me actually pinning it right there. Okay, so that is it. Now before cutting, what about the back? With this cutting right here, we will determine the back of this dress. So having done this, what I just need to do is take this, place it, place the back, place it on the back, then I will cut my back pattern out. Very easy. Place it. When you place it, you consider your zip allowance. The back has zip. So the first thing is to consider your zip allowance when doing that. So let me place it. You see how I did that, and you equally see the zip allowance I left. Now for my zip allowance, I'm okay with 1.5. I can equally work with 1. It can equally be 2, okay, depending on depending on the depending on what you can work with. Sorry, yeah, depending on what you can work with. Okay, so with this, I'm cutting the back, all right, as a pattern. I've not cut the front. What I just did was just take out the basic measurement first. I'll still go in, deepen the neck and the rest of them. So I'm cutting the back. All right. So we pin. Okay. We pin. After pinning, then you cut. Yeah. You slant it. Now with this way, no much work to be done. All right, though the allowances, okay, we added 3 in the front because it's a princess dart. The back, you can equally work with princess dart or waist dart. Any dart is matter of choice. Okay, so that is it. All right, now let's mark our back. You know, with the pattern I have, it has not been marked. Okay, so let me turn it. Okay, we need to turn so we'll be able to get our desired style at the back. Now for my back, the neck width will be the same. Okay, then the neck depth, you know, the back needs to be higher. All right, so for the back, I'll be going by 1 inches. Okay, or you can go by 1.5, at most 2 inches for your neck depth. All right, I can see how I placed it. That leftover there is my zip allowance. Have that in mind. So I'm working with 1.5. All right, so we mark. Okay, so the next is to curve. Curve it. That is it. Now once you curve, you measure out. Now the back of this dress will be more tighter. Sorry, more pencil like, more smaller on the neck. Have that in mind. Okay, so I'll be working with 1.5, and I will connect it to the armhole. I'll connect it to the armhole. Okay, then we cut. You can see that. Then we cut. You can see what I have. What I have there is not open up to 2. Okay, it's 1.5. Now it's matter of choice, so how you want it, but I want mine that way. Okay, for the back. So what I'll do right now is to cut. Okay, I will be cutting the back. You see, I started from the zip allowance to cut. Have that in mind. I started from the zip allowance to cut. Okay, so let's go. That is how you cut. Good. So you slant. All right. Now I've already known the mark where I marked. You can see I use my scissors to notch it, so I'll just cut through. All right, I'll just cut through. Good, that is it. All right, my back is ready. Now the next is my front, for me to work on my front. The back is ready. Next thing for me to work on my front. Now you already know there's a band on the waist. All right, the highest your band can be is 2 inches, but I think this is 1.5 on the waist there, which is okay. Okay, so we are cutting the front part of it right now. Now this cutting is not with the back, I'm just cutting only the front. Okay, you see it. All right, so let me cut the back, the armhole. Now with what we just did now, you know, we started from the shoulder. It is important you start from the shoulder so you don't make a mistake. Okay, so that is it. What next? My dart. Okay, now my front is ready, my back pattern is ready. All right, with this I'll just put it on the fabric and cut. Okay, now the waist has a band on it. The armhole side equally has a band. Now please have it in mind, the band on the armhole side is not a straight band. You don't cut it straight, you cut bias cutting. If you don't know what is bias cutting, check it on YouTube, you see it. Bias, you cut the fabric in a way it can bend. For the waist is normal band, you cut it straight. Please, these two things are very necessary. And another thing is, you can equally see that the band added to the armhole stopped at the same point where the shoulder, this original cutting, stopped. Or if you cannot go that way, you can decide you want to go curving. Maybe you want to place the fabric, but the best is bias cutting. Please have that in mind. Bias cutting. This is how it's done. You don't cut it straight, it is slanted. And equally, make sure you remember the total height of your band. So this is what we call bias cutting. You see it, this is what we call bias cutting. Please have that, especially for the armhole. The waist is a straight cut normal band, nothing much on it. Okay, now when you cut, you attach it. This is where it stops. It must stop at that original neck. It shouldn't. All right, now when sewing the collar, okay, when sewing the collar on it, you finish it together. So have that in mind, that the band for the armhole stops right at where the neck roundness stops. Have that in mind. So let me cut the band. You already know the band, you attach it to the upper part before you attach it to the skirt, to give you the gown. All right, just a straight cut, not it's not slanted. The band is straight cut. You can see that. Okay, so that is how you go about it. This is band. This one I just cut now in straight. Okay, very straight. All right, so you just you fold it. It's folded into two, then you place it for cutting. Yeah, you place it at the lower. All right, now you have to add it to the waist, but have in mind that you must have finished sewing the what is it called, the dart, before doing this, please. You must finish sewing of the dart, everything you're doing before attaching this. All right, this is how you cut the dart through. Though I believe you know how to do that. Okay, so this is how you cut the dart through. Good, this is how you do that. All right, so when you cut it, finish the sewing of your darts. All right, this is our front. This is how it looks. Yeah, that is